Chapter 8. Confession. I never imagined silence could be so loud. The laboratory that had nearly become my grave was gone, buried beneath twisted steel and shattered glass. Outside, dawn spilled warm gold across the city, washing away the cold blue glow that had haunted Morgan Robotics for years. For the first time in what felt like forever, the machine was quiet. No whispers, no voices inside my head, no impossible calculations floating through my vision, just peace. I sat on the rooftop of the emergency medical center with a blanket wrapped around my shoulders. The doctors insisted I rest after everything that had happened, but resting had never been one of my talents. The city looked different now, not because it had changed, because I had. Footsteps approached behind me. I didn't need to turn around. I knew you'd escape. I said. Nick sighed. I wasn't trying to hide. That's disappointing. He sat beside me, leaving exactly enough space between us to respect personal boundaries. Typical Nick. For nearly 5 minutes, neither of us spoke. It should have been awkward. Instead, it felt comfortable. Finally, he broke the silence. How are you feeling? I shrugged. I've had worse Mondays. He looked at me. Saturday. Oh, I frowned. I lost track. You were unconscious for almost 2 days. Seriously? You also argued with 3 nurses. I was defending scientific accuracy. They were asking you to eat soup. The soup was objectively bad. A tiny smile appeared on his face. There it was, the rarest event in recorded human history. Nick smiling, I pointed dramatically. Don't move. What? I think I just witnessed a miracle. His smile disappeared instantly. Never mind. There he is. My favorite emotionally unavailable engineer. He rolled his eyes. You make talking to you exhausting. You keep coming back. Chow you. Checkmate. He looked away first. Victory. Weeks passed. Dr. Elias Morgan was arrested. Ray's evidence exposed every illegal experiment the company had hidden. The Living Machine project was officially destroyed. Nora became head of ethical AI research. Raya celebrated by forcing everyone into a group photo every single day. Ray somehow negotiated immunity by helping governments dismantle Morgan's remaining systems. I still didn't understand how he talked himself out of prison. Honestly, I wasn't sure I wanted to know. Nick and I returned to work. Different company. Different building, same arguments. You labeled this backwards. I labeled it creatively. That's not how labels work. That's how innovation works. No. Yes. No. You're impossible. And yet you're still here. I hate agreeing with you. I know. I hate agreeing with you. I know. Life had somehow returned to normal, or as normal as it could be after surviving a sentient machine. One evening, Nora cornered me in the cafeteria. You like him. I nearly inhaled my coffee. What? You heard me. I absolutely did not. She folded her arms. You smiled differently around Nick. I smiled the same. No, I do. You smile with fewer murder intentions. That's rude. It's accurate. Raya appeared out of nowhere, carrying 3 desserts. I've been saying this for months. I don't like him. You tackled him during the explosion. I was saving his life. You cried. Gossed. There was no dust. That emotional dust. They stared at me. Traitors. Both of them. Unfortunately, the universe hated me. Because a week later, I walked into the workshop and heard Ray say, So, when are you two finally dating? I froze. Nick froze. Raya dramatically pretended to faint. Nora quietly opened her phone. Probably recording this. Coward. Nick cleared his throat. We're coworkers. Ray looked unconvinced. You literally jumped into a collapsing laboratory together. We had limited options. You held hands. Necessary. You hugged. Just eyeing in emergency hug. I burst out laughing. Emergency hug? Nick looked horrified. Forget I said that. Oh, absolutely not. I wiped tears from my eyes. I'm putting that in the company handbook. Later that evening, the office was almost empty. Rain tapped softly against the giant windows. I stayed behind to finish repairing one of the training drones. It exploded, naturally. Smoke filled the room. I coughed dramatically. I blame the wiring. You installed the wiring. Nick stood in the doorway holding 2 cups of coffee. Gabe, I blame capitalism. He handed me one. Thanks. We leaned against the workbench together, watching rain slide down the glass. Neither of us spoke. It felt different. Comfortable, safe. Nick stared out at the city lights. I almost lost you. The words were so quiet, I almost missed them. I looked at him. His eyes never left the window. I know. I couldn't stop thinking. His voice caught. If I had been 1 second slower, I gently interrupted him. You weren't? I know, but I keep imagining it. I understood, because I imagined it too. Every night. I reached over and quietly took his hand. This time, neither of us pretended it was an emergency. He looked down at our hands, then back at me. I've spent years convincing myself I didn't need anyone. I smiled softly. That sounds lonely. It was. You know, I thought you hated me. I tried. You tried? You tried? You were reckless. I am. You ignored safety protocols. I occasionally acknowledge them. You argued with everyone. They deserved it. You kept smiling. That's a complaint? It made concentrating difficult. I blinked. Wait, what? He exhaled slowly, then, for the first time since I'd met him, Nick looked completely terrified. I liked you. Since when? The first week? I stared. The first week? You corrected my equations. They were wrong. They weren't. They absolutely were. I intentionally made a mistake. Why? I wanted to know if anyone would notice. I gasped. You tested me? You passed. You absolute menace. A laugh escaped him. A real one. Warm. Unrestrained. Beautiful. I've wanted to tell you for years. So why didn't you? Because every conversation with you somehow became an argument. Fair. And because I thought you'd reject me, I couldn't stop smiling. You know what's funny? What? I thought exactly the same thing. You? I was convinced you thought I was unbearable. I did. My jaw dropped. He continued calmly. I also couldn't imagine my life without you. That's an incredibly confusing confession. I know. I stepped closer. So, are we still rivals? He looked into my eyes. I hope so. Why? Because I never want you to stop challenging me. I laughed. Good answer. Then, very gently, I kissed him. It wasn't dramatic. There were no fireworks, no orchestra, no cinematic slow motion. Just relief, warmth, home. When we finally pulled apart, he rested his forehead against mine. So, I suppose this makes us. I grinned. Professional rivals. Dating. Exactly. I can live with that. Oh, one more thing. What? You've ever called that an emergency kiss? I'm never saying emergency again. Smart choice. Outside? The rain finally stopped. Morning light broke through the clouds. For the first time, the future didn't feel uncertain. It felt full of possibilities. The machine had tried to trap us inside fear. Instead, it taught us the value of choosing each other. And maybe that was the one equation even the world's smartest machine could never solve. Because love was never programmed. It was chosen. Every single day. The end. Like and subscribe.